With more tropical storms headed our way, TxDOT is giving tips to drivers. They're advising drivers to stay in the left lane because the right lane tends to flood more, and make sure there's space between you and the car in front of you to avoid bumper-to-bumper accidents. Even in his last days in prison, Tim Cole never lost hope, and now his statue stands here tall, representing his faith in the justice system. With Ebola causing concerns throughout the state, LISD has taken precaution and has given students this registration form. Here at Alderson Elementary School, teachers are hanging banners of colleges to promote higher education for their children to have a brighter future. Excessive flooding has caused problems for many drivers, and as you can tell, there is still a lot of debris out on the streets that can endanger you and your car. Former Texas Tech football player Wes Welker tested positive for a combination of drugs, leading to a 4-game suspension. Things may look calm now, but earlier today, neighbors were in a panic, afraid that Ebola might have made its way to their own backyards.
Stepped out and looked that way, and it was hazmat and ambulances and police everywhere. So found out that there's a possible Ebola victim.
Early Thursday morning, EMS transported a patient to UMC who had flu-like symptoms and just returned from Africa 2 days ago. Neighbors like Heaven Jackson were trapped in her own home and was concerned that Ebola may have traveled to Lubbock.
That's why the mass hysteria. Everything, it was a false one in Amarillo. So it's everywhere, and people are panicking.
The patient was immediately put in isolation and his home was decontaminated. UMC officials later announced that it was a false alarm and the patient does not have Ebola.
We feel very confident that we know what happened to this individual, what caused his symptoms. He was treated, he's doing well. There's no Ebola in this patient.
Governor Rick Perry called on President Obama to enact an air travel ban from countries with the Ebola outbreak. Now neighbors feel that if something like this were to happen again, they know the city is prepared.
You got to realize even if you don't panic, you do panic, it's still here. So just be cautious.
In Lubbock, I'm Roxie Bustamante.
For 25, almost 30 years, feeling it was my fault that my brother, because he came here because of me. Now to have this here, I'm good now.
Reginald Kennard was Timothy Cole's brother and roommate at Texas Tech University. Kennard says he still feels guilty because he knows if Cole had not come to Tech, he would have never met this fate. Cole was in prison for a rape he did not commit. His case transformed the Texas justice system, and now because of Cole, new laws stand aimed to protect other victims from wrongful conviction.
He always knew he was innocent. Always.
Timothy's other brother, Corey Session, says he has waited for this day for years.
I hope that it's awe-inspiring to anyone that happens to cross this path.
Even after Cole died in prison, Session and his mother, Ruby Cole Session, worked tirelessly to clear Timothy's name.
I think when it rains here in Lubbock today, it'll be the tears from heaven.
Even in his last days in prison, Tim Cole never lost hope, and now his statue stands here tall, representing his faith in the justice system.
Of course, a bittersweet moment, but more sweet than bitter now.
Rodney Kennard says his favorite part of the statue are the books Timothy holds.
Books, because my brother truly was a student first. Then with all of the people here, it just shows that a lot of people love my brother.
Hundreds attend the unveiling ceremony, and among 70 friends and family members showed their support.
I think Timothy is pleased, and my mother is pleased.
Even the position of his statue has meaning. While his torso faces the crime scene, his face looks toward the law school in his pursuit for justice. In Central Lubbock, I'm Roxie Bustamante.